to the Real Arsenal Deal podcast. This is Rav here again, your host. How is everyone today? Here to talk about Arsenal West Ham 2-0 to the Gunners in a pretty comfortable result in the end. Few nervous moments. It seemed a bit of a tense atmosphere at the Emirates, which I'll get to in a moment. But otherwise, it's job done. It's another clean sheet, and we're top of the league, top of the Premier League. How quickly things can change. I remember going into last weekend, the match away to Newcastle. I remember there was a bit of conversation around, because Liverpool were playing the day before us. The conversation that was brought up a couple of times was centered around the fact that they might be 8 points clear if they won against Palace the day before we went to Newcastle. And it just goes to show like how mad football can be, how quickly things can change. And still, even as I say this, even as I say that Arsenal are top of the Premier League, it's still October. Yes, as you can see, I'm recording outdoors again. No sign of the crow yet, but there's certainly some other birds that are quite vocal. Once again, apologies for the background noise. I'll try and clean this up as usual, as much as I can before publishing. But just to round off my opening point, is that things can change so quickly. And they do. In the space of 6 days, Arsenal have had 3 matches, three fixtures in 6 days. It's a pretty hectic schedule heading into this next international break. And we've gone 3 from 3. We've got the job done against Newcastle, of course, which has been brilliant. And I think it's just a real momentum changer for Arsenal. We've got the job done midweek against Olympiacos, 2-0 at the Emirates, and here again 2-0 against West Ham. 3 more points in the Premier League. Another clean sheet. The only negative to really talk about, which I'll come to in a moment, is Odegaard's injury. But it's just, football is mad, and it's still October. So we're 1 point clear of Liverpool. They lost again to Chelsea, and which is great. However, it all counts for moot, doesn't it? If we're not getting our job done, and last season, even when there were a couple of small opportunities to close the gap on Liverpool, right, we weren't able to do it. We didn't get the job done. And it's so pleasing to see now. It's so pleasing to see that Arsenal are going out there with minimal fuss, just professional, mature performances and getting the job done, bank the 3 points. They don't have to be spectacular affairs. Not every match is going to have the memorable moments such as Newcastle that we can watch and rewatch again and see all the various clips and replays of. Not every match is going to be like that. And to be honest, I don't think they should. You need, because to achieve what we want to achieve, you need a foundation of maturity, composure, professionalism. And as great as the Newcastle results are, trust me, they're amazing. I've spoken about this at length in a number of previous recordings. You want them to be the outlier. You don't want them to be that riding high moment in every match. You're relying upon pinching it late. Have a look at Liverpool, the contrast in their fortunes from their opening matches this season to now losing late on in their last couple of matches. Football is mad. Football is absolutely mad, and it needs cool heads. Right? That's what it needs. It needs composure. So even as I say this, even as I'm very, very pleased that Arsenal are top of the Premier League, it's what, 7 matches in. My goodness, there's 31 matches to go. Even as I say that, I feel like I've aged a lot more than I already am. There's so long to go. There's like 7 months to go. It's so early to draw any conclusions. And what I try to do, and one of the reasons I record this, is that hopefully in the circus that is now the football landscape, the media, the saturation of news, clickbait headlines, and bombarded with everything on your phones, YouTube, or clips, all the various social media apps. What I try and do here is just give a sense of, look, let's just keep 2 feet on the ground, cool heads. There's so much to go and so much can and will still happen. Having said all of that, where Arsenal are currently poised is very, very good, very, very pleasing from an Arsenal point of view. This is what I want to see. I just want to see us go out there and just get the job done. Just put teams away. Yes, I know in a couple of moments in the last week or so, there have been moments gone, chances gone that we should have put away, and we could have got that second goal earlier and the third goal. But you know what? Ultimately, this stuff will take care of itself in time. There's still a lot of integration that's happening in live. It's happening live as we watch. I mentioned last time that Gyökeres, he's almost had a different midfield pairing every start he's made. He's probably had different winging partners as wingers as well. So each and every time he's out there, he and his teammates, they're all sort of learning each other's movement, that chemistry, the relationship that build over time. There hasn't been that stability just yet. The only thing that can provide that, I mean, training, of course, provides you a lot of opportunity to work on tactics and that sort of stuff. But ultimately, nothing can replace the match. Nothing can replace actual game states. And you only really formulate and entrench those relationships in playing meaningful minutes together on the pitch. And it's just something we're going to have to contend with and be patient by. And Gyökeres, there's so much to like about his overall game. He's just missing that end product right. It would have been great for him to net a goal here, and we can talk about that. But ultimately, I'm not too concerned, and I don't think anyone really should. It's just way too early to draw conclusions on anything really. As I keep saying, it's October. So look, enough of a bit of an opening rant. I'd like to get onto the game now, because there's a lot to unpack here. I think the back five almost picks itself now for Premier League matches. Great to see Timber and Calafiori managed midweek, and they're both fresh to start here again. Really interesting what Mikel did in midfield. He dropped Rice further back as the sole six, and Eze and Odegaard starting together. The first time that they've started together, and Saka on the wing as well. Gyökeres up forward. It had a real attacking flavour to the match, and very, very exciting to see. And I think it's the type of thing that we're going to be seeing more and more of in the home matches at the Emirates, because we all know what we're up against. We all know what undid Arsenal last season against clubs like this they sit deep, that low mid block, which has been our kryptonite for far too long. So there is that ability now to change things and mix things up. And once again, you look at the bench, you look at the options we had on the bench. It's just outstanding. We've got so much in reserve, depending on the match state, to make these changes. And Arteta, to his credit, he's actually doing them. Speaking of changes, I think it's 3 matches in a row now at the Emirates, 3 home matches where Odegaard's come off at around the half an hour mark. Really, really unfortunate, really, really unlucky. He was in ridiculous form midweek. He put on the absolute masterclass in the Champions League against Olympiacos, and I and many others were sort of singing his praises and how glorious it is to see him back, to see him fit and firing and running the show like he did. And it's a real, real shame for him. This one, unfortunately, look, at the time of recording this is first thing Sunday morning, Melbourne, Australian time. I haven't seen any specific quotes or information aside from what Arteta said post-match, where he himself referred to it as, I think he said not positive, or maybe he was quoting Odegaard, who said that he didn't look positive. Something to that respect. I don't want to get the quote wrong. Apologies if I've got that wrong. For him to say that, though, that's not good. I mean, Odegaard's is in a knee brace, which is sometimes that's just precautionary, right? Because you've got to control the swelling and manage it until they can get a proper scan and assessment. So that's all fairly standard. But this one looked different to when he fell on his shoulder. I mean, a shoulder impact injury, right, is a very different thing for footballers, right? It's just completely different. Once you start talking about knee injuries, which we as Arsenal fans have plenty of experience in recent times with knee injuries and hamstring injuries, right? Once you start referring to that, it gets into the concerning, worrying zone. So we just hope it's nothing too significant or massive. Hopefully it's on a more minor scale, right? In terms of setbacks, it's an international break as well, as we said. So there's a couple of weeks there. So look, it's just a real shame. It's a real shame for Odegaard, because he's had such a tough time of late, and he's come back and he hit form. And yeah, it's a blow. It's a blow to Arsenal. I mean, there's no other real way to dress this up. We can have all the cover and all the options that we can have all the midfield options on the bench, right? Nothing replaces Martin Ødegaard. He's instrumental. So it's a shame. So once again, forced into an early unplanned substitution. So Zubimendi comes on. shortly after that, we did get the opening goal after a number of chances, really. I mean, how did Eza miss that one, right? That was probably the most glaring. You saw his reaction afterwards. He's got head in his hands. I mean, yes, there are a lot of bodies in front of him, yeah, but he still should not put that over the bar. And he'd be kicking himself. I saw Trossard went straight to him and just said, hey mate, just it's okay, get on to the next one and get your head back in the game. And look, it's one of those things that you keep knocking on the door. We're eventually we're gonna knock that front door down, and we did. That was a really well taken goal by Rice. Once again, it started nice Zubimendi pass. We worked our way in through the right, deflected ball from Areola. It's come back into the danger area, and Rice has hammered it home. And those sort of balls, it's a bit of a scramble. It can go anywhere off the rebound. And once again, if you've listened to my prior episodes, hopefully you've heard me talk about the 1% differences with Raya. I mean, Raya, so often when he makes a save, it's one thing to make the save, but so often he gets it out of the danger zone. He can tip it over the bar or to the side or around the post, and to try and keep it out of that danger area. And it's just one of those little things over time that I watch that, and it enhances my appreciation for Raya, because there's such an art form to goalkeeping. It's such a difficult job to do, right? So much has to go right. But when it falls in our favour like that, when it's a mad scramble and it comes to Rice, he's still got to put it away, and he did. He made that look easy. What was really interesting, and it took me a couple of replays to watch this. He was given a couple of side eyes. Actually, it was more than side eye, right? He turned 2-3 times to look at the West Ham fans, and there's a fair bit in that, because they were absolutely giving it to him. I know it's tribalism. I know it. You don't want to see when one of your teammates has gone to another club, and you always sort of give it to them, give them a bit of extra stick. He was copping it when he was taking corners at that instance, and look, he doesn't celebrate against West Ham. We already know that. So he didn't even put that apologetic arm up. He just sort of looked at them, stared at them. It's like, he sort of like, have some of that. That's what the reaction looked like to me. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, if you think something different, but I found that quite funny, actually, because it's just part of tribalism. And so, sure, they got a cracking deal from it, got £105 million for him, which I think is an excellent transaction for all parties. And but yeah, it's just one of those things, when you see one of your beloved former players, go to a bigger club and do well. Yeah, they certainly took the opportunity to let him know. But that quietened them down. Speaking of quietened down, I don't know how much time to spend on this point, but is it just me? And look, I'd love to hear from anyone who's actually there at the ground. But maybe it's my microphone. I don't know, my audio feed that I'm listening on the headphones. But it just seemed a very subdued atmosphere at the Emirates. I don't know if that's true or not. It seemed a bit tense at times. And you see, look, it's not uncommon to see Arsenal players, that they gesture to the fans to sort of make some noise and sort of, try and ramp them up in certain moments to get a bit of energy back. But it just seemed a bit more than usual today. There was a bit of an uneasy, tense atmosphere, and maybe that builds over time, because you're looking for that goal, you're looking for the second goal to put things away. We all know that at 1-0 anything can happen still, and more often than not in the last year or so. At home for Arsenal, that has happened. We have conceded an equaliser and dropped points. So I'm not sure if there was a bit of tension and that involved, but it just seemed to maybe a flatter than usual atmosphere. But then again, there's been a lot of football lately. Like this schedule is hectic. It's 3 games in 6 days, a couple of back-to-back matches at the Emirates. It can also get a bit. It can be football fatigue. It can. I don't know if that's the right phrasing to describe it as, but it's probably a thing. And every now and then we do need a bit of a breather. And there's an international break now to provide that. So let's see. Look, I won't spend too much more time on that one. I'd like to get back to the more positive stuff. And there was plenty. So we did get the second goal in the second half. I must say, when I was watching this live and I saw it, the contact looked outside of the box. Again, Zubimendi's put Timber in over the top, had another quietly outstanding game. Yuri Timber, he's just doing Yuri Timber things. He's always a 7.5, 8 out of 10 without even really noticing him. He's a beast. Right? He just gets it done. He just snuffs them out at every opportunity, and he's getting forward too. He's popping up in positions, taking a few shots on goal. Took one in the first half as well. And here he is driving into the box. The collision, to me, it looked like it was outside the box. And yes, the sort of contact continued and he ended up falling over inside of the box. But so often, more often than not, maybe if this was an Arsenal away match, maybe the foul's probably still paid, of course, but it may not be a penalty. It may be a free kick just outside the box. Again, I'm happy to be wrong. I've only seen it live, and this is me watching bleary-eyed. It was a midnight kickoff here in Australia, and it's also daylight savings commencement Sunday morning, which sneaks up on you as well. So I lost the extra hour of sleep, and if you're watching on video, that's probably why I'm looking more tired and more aged than I usually do. So please excuse me for that. But to me, it looked like it was outside the box. But hey, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain at all. Penalty was awarded. There was a thumping penalty from Saka, and what was really interesting is that did he take the penalty because it's his 200th match, which is, look, a wonderful milestone. The opportunity to score your 100th goal involvement in your 200th match in the Premier League. And as well as Arteta's overall, not just Premier League, but overall since managing Arsenal, it's his 300th game in charge. What a random, unique set of numbers, huh? It's such a unique set of circumstances. So maybe it was one of those things that Arsenal had, or Saka and Gyökeres and his teammates had, that if there's a penalty, I'm going to take this one. And great, good on him. I mean, absolutely deserves it. Bukayo is everything to Arsenal. Him, fit and firing. It's just wonderful to see. He's played the full 90 minutes again, or 97 really, if you include added time. And he's got through it unscathed. He's looking good. He's looking fit. He's making those runs. Oh, it's just wonderful to see. If we've got this version of Bukayo Saka back, it's set us up for something special this season that I'm very, very hopeful that we all can share in and experience. So Saka, and it was a thumping penalty. The last penalty I can recall, and please correct me if I'm wrong, was it the Bernabeu when it was the wrong place, wrong time for that little chip Panenka kick that Courtois palmed away. I don't recall him taking a penalty since. Well, Arsenal don't get too many penalties to begin with, really. So please correct me if I'm wrong. So it was just great to see him just lace it into the corner, into the side netting almost, I think it hit. You can't save them. At that height, at that pace, with that power and that curve, you're not going to save them. That's clinical, absolutely clinical. And it's type of penalties that Gyökeres does as well. He did it against Leeds, and he's done, and you've seen it all in his compilation videos too. That's the type of elite, just killer finish that you want when you get a penalty. And it's great to see Bukayo lace it. Great celebrations for him. Awesome moment with him in the crowd. It was lovely. It was just like heartwarming stuff. 2-0. The game was pretty much done. We've made 4 more substitutions after that. Two double substitutions in a row. Nice to see Ethan come on. Lewis Skelly, we can manage some minutes. So, fullbacks, we always chop and change, of course. Nice to see Calafiori had another very good game. Could have scored with that cracking shot on his right foot too. Whoa, this guy's got some weapons, hasn't he? On his right foot, came off the post. It could have just rebounded in, could go anywhere off the keeper or back. It was cleared off the goal line in the end. But Calafiori, another excellent game. He's got real freedom, especially in the home matches. He's a weapon. He's a weapon for Arsenal. We've got to just manage him accordingly. It's great to see us do it. Having Lewis Skelly on the bench, I mean, it's brilliant. Hincapié to come back as well. We're in an outstanding position for Arsenal. One area's come on. Marino's come on for Rice, who came off with a sore back. I'm not too sure on the severity of that. Wouldn't it be great just to withdraw some players from international duty, right? But we all know what's going to happen. I mean, surely Odegaard is not going away for Norway. I mean, surely. And that's common sense, right? With his injury. But wouldn't it be great just to withdraw Rice from England duties and just for I know Bukayo will go to the camp, right? But it'd be great just to see him just, sit on the bench and just maybe come on as a sub or something, not start and play every minute like he usually does. But but anyway, look, 2-0, we saw it through comfortably in the end. West Ham did not even have a shot on target. I mean, this is like defensively, we are outstanding. We are shutting out teams. In the 10 matches so far, we've conceded that world-class free kick to Szoboszlai against Liverpool. We've conceded that one open play. Sorry, pardon me, it's 2 open play chances, isn't it? Of course. I mean, the goal against Newcastle that Walter Mata scored, that doesn't count as a corner because, I mean, they played a short corner and they've strung the ball around and then, so that's okay. 2 open play goals and to Haaland and Newcastle, and that one free kick against Szoboszlai. I mean, other than that, we've shut teams out. We've been unrelenting. 7 clean sheets out of 10. And in this match, they barely laid a glove. I mean, I can't even remember them having a genuine opening chance. I mean, I think the XG graphic after the match showed that they were 0.4 something. I don't even know. Like, what did that constitute? Was it that opening header that went over from Füllkrug, from the corner that went over the crossbar? I'm not sure how much that constitutes in terms of their XG tally, but I can't recall them having any. Like, Raya didn't make a save, no shot on target, very little to do other than his distribution, which he does at a very high level every match. It was a very comfortable, comprehensive win for Arsenal. We are just shutting teams out. We are giving them nothing, and I love how they defend. I love how they defend that clean sheet. Like, there's a lot of pride that goes into it collectively. Yes, Raya gets credited with the clean sheets, of course. It always attributes to the goalkeeper. However, it's a team. It's a unit. It's not just the back five. It's the entire team, really, that are protecting that very proud record. And if just more of that, please. If this continues, this is the bedrock of greatness for Arsenal. And most pleasing to see this. They've got that desire to not give the teams anything. And even when they do, like, you can almost see that they're angry. They're almost insulted amongst each other. Like, how dare we allow them that opening, that chance? And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Like, the mentality that's oozing out of this team is just so pleasing. So pleasing. So look, what else to wrap up on before I get this one out? Just a nice day at the office for Arsenal. 2-0 clean sheet, top of the Premier League, 3 more points. What a contrast. What a contrast to the last international break, where we went in on a bit of a sour note, losing to Liverpool as we did late on. And some of that narrative that came out emerged. And, all the times I've seen headlines about handbrakes on and Arsenal should have done this and should have done that. And yes, there's always, every time you lose or drop points, of course, there's always an investigation almost into it and what you could have done and should have done better. And I understand that. However, the volume that it's dialed up now, the oversaturation of every single micro thing and twisting it into a headline or trying to give a sense of, like questioning, Arteta, is he the right man for the job? Are Arsenal gonna choke again in the title? Like, all this stuff, it's just you know what it's designed to do. It's designed to draw your attention and draw your energy. And it's just, even as I say this, I know I sometimes get sucked into it because I can't help but not see it, even though I'm not in these spaces. But like when I just open YouTube or open my Blue Sky profile, you do see the headlines or the screenshots. I mean, you can't quite escape it entirely. Instead, what I try and do is limit it as much as possible and just not give that too much oxygen, so to speak. And it can be a hard balance to do, right? And it's one of the reasons I try and do this is to try and maybe just, it helps me as well. It helps me to record, and it's a bit of self-therapy too when I record and I'm looking at myself in the camera right now, right? And it helps me compartmentalize my thoughts and rationalize things. So hopefully it helps you too. On that note, what I'll do is I'll bring this one to a close. I'll be back on again during the week. Hopefully we have a bit more information, news about Odegaard and other Arsenal talking points. But for now, thank you so much as always. If you're watching on YouTube, please be kind enough to like and subscribe. And on your audio platforms, if you're listening, thank you so much. A review on Spotify or Apple would most certainly help me out. But other than that, thank you so much as always. It's a great time to be an Arsenal fan. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. I will talk to you all soon. Take care of yourselves, look after your loved ones, check in with them, and come on, Arsenal.